Hello, my name is Kobe Cook, and in the news today, local MP Philip Hollowbone is trying to bring back the national services, which has been around for 51 years. National service was a compulsory government where people aged from 18 to 20 would have to spend a year in the military. When previously people that joined the national services, they had a choice of joining the armed forces or charity work. Our team has spoken to local MP Geoffrey Robinson, who has shared a negative view on the national system service.
Service, you mean? No, when I say I'm against it, I think it's a good thing, but it's very expensive, of course. And I think there are better ways of training our young people for the modern world, the new technologies and software companies and things like that, the things of the growth industries of today, the whole media world, of the areas where a lot of jobs too in manufacturing, of course. And none of those things does the army really train you for. It certainly would get you disciplined and into a good stuff. I just don't think it's necessary. I think we've got to be more positive, more creative in our approach to youth unemployment, which is a big problem. What we've said very clearly there is that it's not an option, that they have to go in, they have to stay on the school for the extra year in, or be in further education or training. And if they refuse training course or refuse jobs, they don't get their allowances. But we have undertaken that every single 18-year-old in that age group that is unemployed or will be offered a job.
We've also spoken to an ex-military soldier, Dave Stephen. He's agreed to tell us about his experience in the army, as well as sharing positive views on bringing back the national service.
National service is, I don't think it'd be good for us in the past where everybody has to do it because we're not in World War. It's a good thing if you haven't got a college course, you're not in uni, you haven't got a job, you haven't got an apprenticeship. You know, if you haven't got that, then why not? Then yes, national service or to that form, it may, you know, the bracket it can get involved in, but yeah, take the kids off the street. I can tell you what it did for me. I was probably one of them naughty kids off the council estate, brought up by a single mother, myself in trouble with the law, but joined the army.
We've asked a few people around the local area about their thoughts on Philip Hollowbone's proposal of bringing back the national service.
National service. Philip Hollowbone's new proposed plan, I kind of agree with that because it's got the aspects of working with old people and working with disabled people, so it helps the community instead of just going out to war. But at the same time, it's human rights and you can't really force people to do any kind of line of work, but I personally believe that you should anyway.
That we shouldn't be forced into the army, we shouldn't be forced to do something that we haven't volunteered to do. It'd be much better if it was only volunteers.
On the national service is that you shouldn't be forced to do it. Like, to me, if you're a criminal, then you should be forced into doing it, because if you've decided to murder someone, then you might as well murder for a cause. But yeah, also, like, you shouldn't be forced to join the national service because it's a voluntary thing and it's against your human rights.
What am I saying? The national service is a good thing because it stops unemployment and keeps people in a job, i.e. the army or in charity service.
Well, Oxfam has a policy as far as forced placements are concerned. If you've got any people who are unemployed who are on forced placements, Oxfam will not take people on those placements because we don't feel ethically it's fair to force people into somewhere that they don't necessarily want to do. If it's a work experience placement that, you know, everyone's got their own opinion as to what they want to do, career prospects, etc. And we've found over the years, having had people on placements before, if it's not in an area of work that they're interested in, they're not going to be motivated. They're not going to be much benefit to us, and they're not going to ultimately get anything out of it. And because we're Oxfam, where we strive to alleviate poverty, suffering all around the world, back home here, it seems immoral then if we're looking for fair working rights for people overseas, for us to then take people here who are being forced to do something that ultimately they don't want to do.
Moving on. Cam Calloway is the leader of the business facilities. She has also organised a trip for all of her students to show them what London is like on the industrial side of things.
The reason we chose to go to London is because London isn't very far away from Coventry, and many of our students hadn't actually been to London, and it was to show them how easy it is for them to commute to London and actually work in London as well, because there are lots and lots of people who do commute on a day-to-day basis. We decided that rather than take the students sightseeing, it would be far more valuable for them to go into one or two companies and actually feel and see what it is like to work in an organisation. We were very lucky that the Canary Wharf group allowed our students to visit them, and it was really exciting because we went up to the 30th floor and the students realised that they were quite high up, but the blinds were actually down as the students entered the boardroom. Once the blinds were open, it was quite overwhelming because they were so high up and they could see for so many miles across, and they were quite excited at the fact that there were so many people that worked in the Canary Wharf area. We then took the students across to St Paul's. They saw lots of famous buildings along the way. They saw St Paul's Cathedral. They saw the Old Bailey. They saw many exciting buildings, and they actually went into Morgan Hunt, who are a recruitment agent, and they shared a meeting with some of their top recruitment consultants who explained to the students how it was to work in a recruiter's. And that was really exciting for them because they were overwhelmed about the amount of money they could earn. It really raised their aspirations, and they talked about the fact that even some students may not have an ideal goal for employment, that they could actually try different skills and see what they were actually good at. The day in itself was really exciting because the students, had seen London on TV. Some had actually visited it, and often they went to visit relatives or went shopping on Oxford Street, but what they really did was they saw the real London, the working London, and they also realised how quick it was to get there, that they only had to get a 7:30 train to get them into central London for 8:30 and be in a job for 9 o'clock if they and they could do that with living in Coventry. So yeah, it was a really exciting day. It raised their aspirations, and those students who didn't go felt really sad afterwards. They really felt that they missed out on a great opportunity, and they really want to take that up again.
For more information about the National Service Proposal and the outcome, visit our website www.ccnews.co.uk and leave a comment of what you think. And that's all from us. Good night.